I need to bring up one point about dreams. Not only do I dream faster than most people, I could dream instantly. That's when your weak nuclear force is connecting to the gravity, which is the dark matter, which is the black hole itself. But when I told my uncle last year that I saw him die in a dream where he was down, we were all in a cave, and he said, "Get out, the water's coming," and I was going up the slope. I looked behind me, and he had gone under the water, and then that's when I lost grip, slid down in the water, and woke up. So I just assumed we both died. So I told him, "Yeah, I saw you die in a dream." But what I came to realize in a dream is that's not really my uncle. It's from a previous life or someone that I helped put to bed, the dark energy. Because even though you put them to bed and they're unwritten, because I'm still alive and I'm in a higher stage, I remember all that. All that's encompassed. And when I come back to planet Earth, I break off a little piece of myself of the dark matter, and you leave the rest behind, slam into the sun, be reborn, start the process all over again. Now, if I was ever to stray off course and become dark energy, that dark matter would eventually just get slammed into any type of sun. That's why you see sunspots on every sun. So the dreaming part is very important for all humans. That's why we sleep. And it also can be misinterpreted. And with all religions, with all people, or most people believing in different religions, there's like 4 major ones that I know of, and they all have truth to them, but they've all made mistakes. Because I feel I've been not only male, but female. And that's where you get the confusion sometimes. So whenever something's written down, the reason I think the planet Earth, well, there's one major reason why I think planet Earth is producing dark energy, but the second is the religions aren't quite right. And I could go through a litany of mistakes, but it's pointless, because in general, you either believe, just like Jesus said, or you don't. Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days to decide how to, because he was a human being just like we are, decide how he was going to handle the whole situation, because what Jesus was saying was true, but he also knew the flip side to it. Not everyone is going to be saved. You get your chances, but that's it. And when you put someone to bed, you feel their pain. So it's not easy running that whole establishment. And sometimes even galaxies will die on that very thought. Well, what are we doing? We just keep recycling ourselves and keep doing for what? What's after that? That's every question on every human's mind. That's why we all have doubts. Because if you were to eventually meet God, you say, well, who created you? The questions could go on and on and on. So eventually you have to shut that all down and just keep working. So you can look at planet Earth as a vacation or just more work. It's all the same. We're all the same. And we all keep it going. We made this universe. And but the main reason why it's so easy to produce dark energy is because, just like I said with Adam and Eve and Cain being the first 3366, the first second chancer, I call them. Because if you're born on a second chance, you come back as a 3366. It doesn't mean every 6633 is going to become dark matter either, because you have a 33% chance of becoming dark energy. And the true equilibrium of it all. So if you had a male or a female as a 66-33 and the other partner's a 33-66, you could create a 66-33 or a 33-66, but you would, just like Adam and Eve, the first one would be Cain 33-66. It doesn't mean that every 66-33 is going to produce a Cain. But more than likely, if that's just the 3, that's what the outcome is. So if you just got the 3 on the 166 and 133, it would produce another 66-33. But what happens when you get 2 33-66s producing? That's where you get, there's no number that equals that. 2 33-66 will not produce. But because we are given free will, and because we're here to reproduce, you just bring on another 33-66. And that's why it's so easy to produce dark energy. Because when you get a population of stage 0, 1, and 2, most of them are on their second chance. So most of the planet Earth, not all of it, is probably 33-66, because when the populations start getting bigger, I think we're at 9 to 10 billion people. And I believe the limit is what you see through that dark energy. The limit is 13 billion people. Why? Because you do not want a planet that's just full of 33-66s, making more 33-66s. And because not only will you run out of 33-66s, but most of them probably won't make it. So you're producing more dark energy, which shrinks the galaxy, because every stage 0 person that's born, that's brand new, like Adam and Eve, people with high stages like myself, if I formed my own black hole, I'd have to give a part of myself for that life to be born. Now, not only do I get it back once all that is processed, and because you're running it, you could steal energy from here, and that's why gravity can be manipulated. It's an effect. If you have strong enough power, and the weak force is 10 to the 32nd more powerful than gravity. That's why I think gravity is probably more likely a byproduct rather than what we make it. And but if you were able to, at any time, because we have wave particle duality, at any time you could gather that energy and you could speed up the process on a planet of creating a cell and creating whatever life form you want to. And that's where spells come into play. If you have enough power, and I believe Jesus did, and that's why he was able to walk around and heal people, because he was just using the power that's within him. And I feel like I have that power. Now, I've cast a few spells, and one of them I'm going to take the time to explain to the people, the victims, the families, and to the people of the United States. Please forgive me for Hurricane Michael. That was the first time I ever cast a spell, and I didn't realize it'd be so powerful. So Jesus, what he did with his power was, and I thought about it last summer. I thought I saw someone having a heart attack or something, but it was God's way of showing me. I learned later in dreams that I can't save everyone, because we are at that tipping point. 9-10 billion people, 13 billion is the limit. So in less than, but because we have free will, that 13 billion will be hit, right? And when that happens, the viruses or the storms will become so huge, because the planet is warming up for this very reason. I think there's a change coming, and I've been I think it's between 1 and 222 years for this to happen, depending on how much can be knocked down or how fast it gets up. But at some point it's got to stop because we can't keep producing that amount of dark energy like this. And don't worry, the life goes on the Earth. We actually have 700 million more years to use this planet, and we've been here before. If you look at the CO2 levels, the ice ages, we are usually in power when there's an ice ages. Now, birds, reptiles, that become dinosaurs. Birds actually become big. That's where you get people believing in dragons, because birds get really huge. And that will happen in millions of years from now, because when this change comes, the birds and the insects take over first, then the reptiles, and then we come back into power. So for a while, everything's going to be shut down where it's manageable. And when you get to a low population like that anyway, you get different effects. Like if you get inbreeding, that's where monkeys and gorillas come from, is inbreeding. And we get smaller. We actually get to the height of like 3 to 5 feet, maybe even smaller than that. And think of all these future caves that you built for everyone. So I'll leave you with that for now, and I'll keep going on about this on the next episode.